Alrighty, I have a bug and I'm not sure what is the issue. So for context, I'm making this application where you can right click and it'll tell you what you're looking at. So if I right click on this class, it says I'm looking at this class. I right click on the constructor, I'm looking at the constructor. I right click on this field, I'm looking at the field. Fine and dandy. There are a few cases where things do not resolve correctly though. But there's a catch. They do not resolve correctly on the first parse. Only the first. So watch this. I'm gonna skip over some steps first, just to be brief. I right click here, and the identifier that I've clicked on is indeed view model store owner. And if we look at this, it says the type is unknown and the field type is null. Let's set that breakpoint. I'm going to add a space. If you look at the console below, it says there's a parse going on. The way I have it set up is that if the text changes, the parser will reparse the source. So now I'm going to set a breakpoint, right click the same thing, and the type is there. So the difference is now you can see it says, oh, you've right clicked on view model store owner. But if I have a fresh open instance, the first parse, I right click on it, it doesn't resolve it. It instead looks in the parent, which is the class declaration here, and gives me that. But if I add a space or any other modification to the text, I wait for the parse, then it works. I have no idea what's the cause, and any insight would be greatly appreciated. Just to break down the kind of tech stack I have going on here, because I understand this is like an IDE and that there's a lot of shit to look through. So I'll set a breakpoint here, which should get us going. So when I do a right click, so an on context menu request, it's going to convert the position in the text from the mouse position to a character offset in the string text of the original source. Then it's going to call resolve at position. And if we open this function, you can see pose to offset. It'll call context helper resolve with some offset. The offset is just error handling. Ignore that for now. Then we have resolve, which takes the unit, the offset in the unit we want to look at, and the original source. Original source is again for error handling, just ignore it. We then have a list tree AST path equals get AST path at offset. What this does is it creates a map of ranges to tree elements. Long story short, the way that this works is if you were on line 20, you would see there's the class declaration component activity. And on line 26, there's the field and content layout ED. If you right click on something, the tree will get the most specific element at that position, and then the parent element, and then the parent element, and then the parent element, and the parent element, all the way up until the compilation unit. And that is what the path is. So if we look at here, because we were on this interface reference, it says, okay, you right-clicked on the interface reference, view model store owner, which is just an identifier. The parent model is going to be the class declaration, and the parent of that is going to be the compilation unit. So that's just a tree path for whatever position we've clicked at. Then, starting at the most specific item going up, we're going to try and resolve whatever we're looking at. This method is pretty long and convoluted, but it's just going to tell us what the type is we're looking at. So for like method invocations, it's going to get the method type, and then that will resolve to some data I have open in our project. So yeah, you can see there's like classes on the left over here. They have methods. If there's a matching method to the to the method type that I've found at that position, it'll wrap that up in a data type and return it. Similarly, with identifiers, if the identifier is a type, then we will get the identifier type. And because identifiers can be fields and class references, it has to handle both. So you can see there's actually there's a lot of different things it could be. So it handles a lot. But sometimes the value is just null, and I don't know what to do with that. I don't know why it's null. So yeah, that's the crux of the issue, and the tech stack for any surrounding context. Would appreciate any help. Thanks.